바로 오케이. 여기 소리, 여기 소리, 여기 소리. 진짜. 둘, 셋.
소리 안 나게 해주세요. 부탁드립니다. 멈춰주세요. 멈추세요.
아, 여기 떨어지. 굿샷.
굿샷. 둘, 셋.
We are live. The third round moving day Saturday, the KB Financial Group Star Championship. So excited to have you along for a pivotal day at this fourth major championship of the season. We were treated to some brilliant golf with so many players in the fight for this crucial tournament, and looking above this beautiful Blackstone Ichun golf course, we see blue skies, which are a sight for sore eyes after some overcast days and some rain, but nothing to dampen the play of so many of these players who are absolutely in the fight. Of course, by the end of yesterday's round, we were able to cut the field down quite significantly. From 108 players who began the weekend, all pursuing that 1.2 billion one purse and the prestige of one of our favorite annual traditions here on the KLPGA Tour. Of course, our defending champion, a player that we will watch with keen interest throughout the weekend, is Pak Jiyoung. 2 shots through this par 4 ninth. She is pin high, but just off the green into the rough, and nearly able to hole out. Despite a couple of moments in each of the first and second rounds, you can point to 2 in particular. A double bogey on Thursday, and yesterday some putts down the stretch where she just was not able to capitalize on the birdies that she needed. She is absolutely right in the mix here. And of course, with some of the conditions last season that made for many a high score. In fact, Pak Jiyoung's title-winning final aggregate number, the only one under par, it has a much different feeling in 2024. By the end of the day, I believe we had a quartet of players all sharing the lead, and it was a very, very fascinating final 10 to 15 minutes yesterday where people were trading birdies and missed pars, and it was drama to the end, which is exactly what we expect this week. We also expect to see Kim Chae-hee continue to ride this momentum. She put up one of the best scores yesterday, and she is continuing on that birdie run. 6 and 9 as she goes out with a 34 here. And now Uni Na, she is the leader. The first round at times, the power play that we've grown accustomed to seeing from her ended up leaving her with a lot of approach work to do, but especially from the final 12 holes yesterday, she was driving heavily and getting herself into fantastic positions to go on and attack, and clearly picking up where she left off yesterday. And for Hong Jung-min, it was the putter that was her best friend in round number 2. And ensure that she doesn't have much to do with the flat stick here towards the midway point of her round. Of course, a player that knows what's required. She's getting closer into the veteran years when you consider the likes of EA1, who finds herself on number 10 looking at a birdie. Obviously, she'll be disappointed to be only at 1 under as one of the KB Financial Group sponsored athletes, but she takes a step in the right direction with a fantastic putt there. Her second of the day, though she had the double at 4 and the bogey at 7. Onward to Hyun-se Rin, also finishing up her front 9, playing the North Course here at the Blackstone, but the approach shot is not able to stay away from the sand trap, just defending that front left corner. .168 meters out, Pak Young, and it looks like she will be able to avoid the same fate, though she was certainly running it down that left side of the green. Yu Hyun-jo, the rookie sensation, who I think might have caught a lot of people by surprise with her first 36 holes of the competition. Just one off the top. It's 148 for her from the middle of the fairway here. There are, I'd say, at least 4 holes on the course that have these very drastic elevation changes on the green, and often before the player even knows what's happened, the supporters oohing and awing will tell us. The player in sole possession of second is at the front of the green with a long way to come back. She's 2 under for Uni, 3 under through, and in Sung Eugene, 4 under around that 50% mark as well. The defending champ 5 back, page 2 of the leaderboard here at the Blackstone Golf Club Icheon. So we have 3 hours of sunshine and golf. What more could you want on a Saturday? Right here on the KLPGA Tour. Welcome back. We are so glad you could join us for round number 3. A couple of things that we will keep note of, especially as we get closer and closer to the back 9, is 2 holes in these final rounds. Number 11 and number 18 are playing at Brent tee blocks. Make a different challenge when we get to those holes in the next 10-15 minutes of the back 9. Here we are then with Hong Jung Min. Not necessarily an approach to write home about, but a decent effort, we have to say. Unfortunately for her, unable to capitalize on that birdie putt. Park Young is next with a long way to go. So a 2-putt scenario for her, and that frustration, I think, has more to do with the approach itself rather than the attempt to go in one stroke. Yuni Na now, you could hear the exasperation as she lips around the hole and is unable to extend that advantage. Can't even really call that a mistake, but you can call it a missed opportunity. It opens the door for Yu Hyun Jo, who has to get up the hill and navigate the break. We have 3 feet for the par as a result. Every single year there is that one newcomer that makes you stop and look for her name on the leaderboard. It is not a particularly close race for the rookie class with some of her brilliant play on the season. Obviously, she would have considered this a dream, to be right in the hunt. She's had 4 top 10s, Yu Hyun Jo, already this season. No podium finishes yet. And Serene, for the first 2 hours or so, up to the last 45 minutes, it was her atop the leaderboard. But the birdies had dried up on her and now finds herself chasing. Consider how Yuni Na has fared so far this weekend here. 1 par, 1 birdie. 366 meters or 400 yards long this hole. It favors the little extra strength off the tee. This becomes a big putt for Pak Young. But it takes 3 on number 9, and she will be relinquishing a stroke here. Jungmin also in the department of distance with her driver. Consider her average throughout is just the rounds. 262 on average from the par 4s, 263 overall. Pretty impressive number, goes without saying. Kim Chae-hee is set up at 10. Trying to stay as close as possible to that left fringe. Backspin will bring her towards the front, unfortunately. Updated race to the WeMix Championship points after the first 21 events of the year. Pak Young from Pak Ji-young, Yunina, EA1, and Hung Yu-min the top 5. Lee Jae-young with a good jump from 10th to 8th, swapping spots with Chun Ye-sung. Pang Shin-shil and No Seung-hee also in the mix. Every week we get closer. The final championship of the season, the top 24 competing for a big WeMix prize and an additional 500,000 WeMix points, which is a combination of ranking points and KLPGA points as well, with the boost for the majors.
하겠습니다. 앞에 좀 멈춰주세요.
Certainly a much more complicated shot when you have to contend with the trees and try and shape it around. The approach at 9 for Bae So Hyun, and The sand eliminates any ability to manipulate it, and our volunteers on the left have to run for cover.
근데 아까 그 쳤더니 그 라인을 돌린가봐?
This is Park Ji-young looking to get to 5 under. She was directly on line, but lipped out off the outside edge. Uni now only 146 to go on the par 4. It's a 7-iron for our leader. And not only does she reach, but she puts it within 2.5 or 3 meters. A gentle downhill putt after she let the opportunity go by the wayside at the last. Playing with an incredible amount of confidence, and it's showing. Just absolutely marvelous to see such big numbers for the weekend rounds. Jungmi not to be outdone, at least that was the mentality. That's why it is so important to take that little extra club. Top side at the back is very, very valuable real estate, as you might imagine. Yu Hyun-jo to begin the back 9 and will skirt the right side of the fairway. Takes a pretty powerful effort to get this particular hole started, and it is at the added benefit of the downhill into the fairway. The oohs and ahs, and understandably so. Kim Chae-hee narrowly avoiding another birdie. She'll settle for par. She is absolutely right in the mix. The top 5 is unchanged. Hyun Se-rin, Hong Jung-min sharing 3rd. Sung Eugene 5 under through 11. In this 3rd round of the KB Financial Group Star Championship, live on the LPGA Tour of Korea. And we welcome you back as we continue to see more and more of our featured groups concluding their time on the North Course. Hong Jung-min the long way back up the hill. Still just a few yards short. And the next putt will be to keep that score the same. Young is going through the mental battles right now. Still trying to put that recent bogey out of her immediate consciousness. She's +1 for the day and 6 back suddenly. Okay, so Young also over par for the round. There's a chance to go even at the turn. Sung Eugene, this is a topsy-turvy break. Somehow she was able to imagine the line and turn that into reality. Significant and sharp break. That is a thoroughly deserved birdie as a result. Yoni Nash was disappointed to walk off the 8th green without a birdie. She would be doubly disappointed if she went 0 for 2, but she's in a great spot after a magisterial approach. And there's the sound she was looking for 10 minutes ago. To 10 under and a 2-stroke advantage. Yu Hyun Jo, it's a 9-iron at 10, 120 to go. Targeting that narrow strip between the pin and the fringe. She'll have the option to putt or chip. Kim Jae-hee directly online. It's not quite powerful enough to get all the way to the back. It is a few feet and her par. It's been a good season already, a season with a win, Never taken the title of a major championship, though. Season. We're just trying to add to that one-win total. Speaking of Park Ji-young, who is our money leader, 986,103,001 when you round up.
너무 오네, 그지? 너무 오네.
And Serene, all of a sudden off the pace by 4. Sneaking up and delivering. Marvelous approach shot. It's no Seung-yi who is hovering around this top 5. And she and everyone else now chasing. Just like Park Young at 3 under on the opposite side of the green here at number 10. Our advantage, the break will be right to left. Straightening out when you're about 20 meters away. Tricky to approach that putt with much confidence.
오케이 버디네.
불러였습니다.
Kim Ji-hyun at 8.2 meters. Start this well to the pins right, our left, and watch it swoop on over. Even for the day through 11, that looks to continue. Only 4 feet left between she and a par. In from the fringe, Yoo Hyun-jo, based on the stance, has gone putter. Plays it quick to a couple of feet above that spot. Would have given her an extra point on the leaderboard.
불러야겠습니다.
This is not a replay. This is Kim Chae-hee from an almost identical position on 11 at 6.2. She goes to the opposite side of the spectrum with a bit too much speed. Well, surely Park Young can't bogey back-to-back. Delivers on the par when the confidence is probably at a tournament low. Round was going so well for her yesterday even, and then 18 she drilled a shot over into the trees. And today she started so strong, birdies in each of the first 3 holes. Got a bogey at 4, a double at 6, and another bogey at 9.
소개 안내 부탁드립니다. 부탁드립니다.
Uni not to begin the back. Just about able to escape out. The sand still playing pretty hard with all the rain it took this week. Blue skies today not quite able to soften it up just yet.
이쪽으로 온다. 얘가 주특기요. 와, 못 올라가네. 타이 걸렸네.
And Serene rattles it out.
아, 이거 타이 딱 걸렸어. 올라가는 건데.
Sungee back into the top 5. Great approach and a simple finish. Add that to her birdie from number 8, and we watch her climb.
여기 타이 걸렸어.
4-footer, and that's the par. Through no fault of her own, trailing by a pair now. Onwards to 11. Jiang just about on the fringe. Break comes in a bit too early. Takes her birdie off the table. Shot a 1 over 73 in the 3rd round of last season. It was that 2nd round 67 which really propelled her to a spot where she could just defend. Look again at the driving distance average for the week for home mean 237, and she's a little bit more to the right and was able to avoid the sand, but not the tall grass just beyond it. Kim Jae-hee at 11. That's to save a par. Very good putt. Six to play and 5 back still. Yu Hyun-jo, the back 9 in round 1, saw 5 birdies, but only saw 2 yesterday that were canceled out by bogeys at 15 and 17. Her big moment yesterday, of course, was the eagle at number 5. Definitely got her started on the front foot. Wide yawning fairway that welcomes in the drive. Find Unina in the sand. Despite her run-in yesterday to 18, she had 3 birdies in the last 4 holes. The bulk of her success so far this week has come on the front 9. But each time she has played this stretch of 10, 11, and 12, she has parred. Didn't let the sand trap dissuade her from being aggressive. Looking to stay left and find a setup akin to her approach not too long ago, but in the end it's into the rough.
그 문화에 화와 짜증을 다 받아줄 수 있었어. 손해보는 게 너무
Let the roar of the crowd narrate that 5th birdie of the day for Sung Eugene. Skyrocketing into the top 3. Take another look. Just about impossible to get this speed just right. Starting up and then going down, collecting speed closer and closer. She chose to leave the flag stick in, and it helps her secure that birdie. Emerging Min out of the rough, she is on the opposite side of the green.
네, 하겠습니다.
Pitching wedge for Pei So-hyun and her approach, as we had just seen by Uni Na's group, pinned today at the back of this green. That's precisely where she heads, inside of the shadow of the flag. Should be able to make that birdie with her eyes closed.
실례하겠습니다.
Still has 7.7 meters to climb, 146 meters away. Perched up on the hill here in the fairway. She'll be second guessing that club selection and the entire walk down to the green. to the par 3. Tricky one at 165 meters long, the second longest of the 4, only 7 is longer. Nosungi had to go with hybrid and ends up off the mark. It'll be a 6 for Park Young at the par 4 11th. Skips off the green and into the hillside rough. Obviously one that she needs to carry a good distance to get onto the green, but if you're long, she's down the hill, and that would make this day go from difficult to unbearable for her. Well, 9-iron at 11 for Yu Hyun Jo. Only 119 to go. Very, very good results. Look at the gentle slide down the hill. Attacks the pin and has an opportunity. Try and get that deficit down to 1 once again. Yeah, one playing this group with Kim Yo-ju. +2 score now for EA1 is looming large. She is still the highest rated KB Financial Group sponsored athlete in the fields from the 73 that made the cut. 72 that made the cut, excuse me. It's Hong Jung-min in her detour into the rough and past the pin. It's always going to be a slim thought when it came to that birdie. Just a touch over 2 meters for Uni, not trying to avoid bogey. Closer than her putt at 9 for birdie, but more break here certainly. It's a sigh of relief. An acknowledgement to the crowd. Not your traditional sand save, but from the bunker, an approach and a short one to finish it off. Rolling it up, Park Young, being mindful of what is lying beyond the pin.
하겠습니다.
This vantage point from front of the green shows that the speed will come in right away. It's just a nudge. Gravity does the rest. One down, 8 to go as she pursues Uni up. Last week's winner. Certainly this would be the crown jewel in the best year of her career. 11 is where she and the group will head next. It's where we find Hyun Serene, 11.4. It's always going to be the set-up shot. Now, no Sumi. She was left off the tee on the par 3 13th. Got to get up and down quick from the sand here. Was also joining her in the bunker. Never want to leave it short on an uphill putt. And Ju casts her gaze skywards. What happened to the speed? I mentioned earlier that this is one of the 2 holes with a different tee ground. On the back 9, it's 27 meters longer for the weekend. 334 meters, number 11. And now Sung Eugene. 52-degree wedge on her approach. Wants to get to the back again, and she heads there. Frozen rope that is able to land softly. Be about 2 meters away from a birdie. Hong Jung-min in that 6-under score, still good to be tied for 3rd position. She has birdied 11 already this week. Golfers and gallery alike start to snake their way down the cart path. We'll go to the 11th green as Park Young-kyung looks to avoid bogey. Behind the hole, steps up in the clutch. She arrested the descent on the last hole, and now we see that the parachute has been safely deployed. Now at 13 from basically the fringe, EA1. The slimmest of looks at a birdie. Serene for her par, just a foot or so closer than KLPGA had been. So able to convert and avoid a slip. And Joe preserves that -8 for one more hole. .8 for No Sungi out of the sand and just short. She is not able to get up and down from off the green. Bogeys certainly have not been a common occurrence for her.
플레이하겠습니다.
Pretty well a straight shot. Let's follow the outside right of the deepest bunker. That's your line. Marvelous from Hong Jung-min. Beautiful design on the shot tracer. Curves up into the fairway. And that's Sung Eugene. Good birdie for her. Sole possession of third. That is 6 on the day. She's on pace for a 66, and she still has 4 holes to go. Next one into the fairway, and so again looking to be the next one on 11 to get onto the green. It's a 9-iron and 115. Playing closer to 125 with the hill, and she's short. Kim Chae-hee is not just able to avoid the bunker, but put that 6 feet or less away from a hole-in-one. Yunina has had the challenge put forth by Hong Jung-bin. She's inside of 100 meters and not quite going to clear. Be agonizing with every roll closer to the front fringe. Admittedly, it's good news to the rest of the chasing pack. She won't add to the advantage. It's currently 2 on the 11th green. And perfectly in a stretch of 5 par 4s in a row. It's a crucial part of the run-in before it starts to get tricky. Changing distances, par 5s and 3s. And the 18th being shortened for the weekend. That should see some low scores. Yuhyun Jo on number 12. It's an 8 iron. 130. Draw this around the bunkers. Rides the border of the fringe and will stop on it. So for Unina, an outside but not impossible look at birdie. The speed, obviously, to get it up the hill, leaving her on the precipice of a bogey. Kim Jae-hee maybe just stood over it and overthought it a minute too long. Big opportunity for her to join Hyun Serin and Hong Jung-min at 6 under. Hong Jung-min, as she has a close call that ends up as a stumble. Sport of millimeters at times. Masterclass. Use that as a tutorial on how it's done here on 14. And understandably, a lot of attention on this putt right now for Unina. Trying to avoid a bogey and to keep the lead at 2. Just like Hong Jung-min, agonizingly close. First dropped shot of the day and her first since hole number 8 yesterday. It's immediate advantage to Yuhyun Jo, though from off the green it will not be a slam dunk to try and take advantage of it. Starts it outside and time to recover. Pesoyan, it is now a putt for par on 11. Nobody in the group will be leaving here with fond memories, but avoids a nightmare scenario with that putt. Let's see if she's tired of sharing third. She's wanting it all for herself. She goes to 7 under with her third of the day. Gazing down from the fairway at the 12th. Very comfortable 30-degree day. Saturday afternoon in Icheon. Been a very birdieable hole, excuse me, with 17 of them to this point in the round.
네, 하겠습니다. 네, 하겠습니다. 예, 이거 멈춰주세요.
Just make out the sliver of the pin directly above the little U-shaped cutout on the left sand trap. Pesoyan in this final group. Figure a 70 or a 71 today, and anything can happen tomorrow. Ju. 2 under before that swing in the world number 17. Here's a nice bit of applause. Bogey's at 6 and 13, 11 and 14 now. She's birdied as she gets back to the score that she started the day at. So she's just outside of the top 10 with that 3 under mark. Mean also even and also into the fairway. Two shots like darts thrown at a bullseye. From the fairway to a very thin runway at the right side The green on the par 4. Last to play is the leader, whose advantage is now just the 1 stroke. Back on the par 3, and Serene goes to about the middle.
이 맞아요?
세지 않아. 플레이하겠습니다.
Joe is next. Not the same depth onto the green, but much more to the inside left of the putting surface. We're 90 minutes into our 3rd round coverage. Uni Na is our leader, but the lead is just a 1 stroke. 9 under through 11. Yu Hyun Jo 8 under on 13. Sung Eugene and Hyun Se-rin round out the podium for now at a pair of 7 under par scores. We'll take a quick break and have more when we return to the Blackstone Golf Club here in Incheon. 2:35 p.m. in the afternoon on a Saturday at Blackstone. We pick up the action with Yunina's approach and quickly head back to Sung Eugene, who is making herself a very interesting player on this back nine as she records another birdie. That is 4 on the back nine. She's now on pace for a 65. Absolutely remarkable round in progress. Approach game serving her very, very well, to put it mildly. Next on the docket at 12, Hong Jung Min, on and off the green as she rolls into the rough all the way at the back. Also a 9 for Pei So Hyun. Wind fairly calm. Line was okay, and that is the opposite end of the spectrum. To Hong Jung Min, you can see Yunina sitting in a delightful position. Wipe that bogey off from last. On the 14, Pak Ji-young, 48-degree wedge. At 99 meters out, and she goes pin seeking as well. Certainly not counting her out yet. Far from it. She knows what it takes to win around the Blackstone. 12 meters, 12 and a half out. Yoo Hyun-jo uphill, then downhill, coming back online. And swooping just inside of the cup. To the inside of the cup. Off by a fraction of a centimeter on her initial alignment. Punch that in for her par. Is almost identical. Late break takes her away. Kim Ji-hyun disappointed. Can understand why. Valiant to try. She's already at 7 under, in case you were curious. That brings her very much within reach of the course record of 8 under. Kim Ae-rim set it in the first round back in 2017. If she or anyone else were to break it this week, there is a $3 million cash prize on offer. She is carrying all kinds of momentum and swagger into that par 3. All of a sudden, she is just off the top. Yunina's 9 under, which is likely to go back to double digits when we head to the 12th green next on this moving day Saturday. And the movement is coming now. It's been back-to-back birdies at 14 for Yu Hyun Jo. Thursday and Friday, and starts on the right foot this afternoon as well. He's driven the ball oh so well today. 90% of her fairways in regulation. It's a bit deceiving. That should be okay on the opposite side from our vantage point of the rough that bisects the fairway. Speaking of rough, that's where Hong Jung-min was. Have an uphill 3.5, 4 meter putt to try and avoid bogey. It was interesting how the tone and narrative changes. Make a birdie, win a birdie, or a matter of a foot or two, it becomes avoid the negative outcome instead of winning the positive one. Mentioned it on Thursday, but worth repeating for those who might be joining us for the first time this weekend. You'll notice all the players in the field this week wearing those pink ribbons on their caps. The LPGA Tour of Korea teaming up with the Korean Breast Cancer Society, delivering a message of awareness and early intervention, and of course showing their support for a foundation that, regardless of the country you might call home, does some of the most important work in medicine. Just happens to go along with the Saturday pink. Sung Eugene now for birdie and a share of the lead, and to momentarily match a course record. It's not to be on 13, but she has 5 to tie, and she can find 2 over that span. Take home a nice payday. Pesoyan a little long. It's a good boost of confidence for EA1. Her first birdie since number 10 and her third of the day. Effectively where she was when she began about 3.5 hours ago. Jung-min escapes with her par. Munina right back to where she was. Proving that the bogey at 11 was the exception to the rule. She's played these par fours so well today. Her third birdie. Oh, so close. Maybe 2 meters more of carry and she would have taken that spin up closer to the pin. At least she was able to avoid rolling all the way back to the front. 12, Erpei So-hyun rolls in her par. She's certainly venturing off the beaten path today, Park Young-gung. And the sand here at 14, and it sounded heavy. And when you have your camera operator zoom out and not be able to show you where the ball is, you know that it didn't go quite right. Body language from her to go with the sound would have been enough of a clue.
조금만 달려줘. 3 정도만 생각해. 플레이하겠습니다.
The rookie's approach safely behind and just up the hill.
짧지는 않지. 아까 어느 정도 저는 이제 뻥고 왼쪽 끝에 그렇죠.
비슷해?
Beautiful baby blue skies. Just had to endure the Thursday and Friday rounds to enjoy it today, though if the forecast is to be believed, and it's been just about spot on to the hour all week, we'll have to savor this while we can, because there's some rain on the horizon again tomorrow. You can hear the exasperated sighs from her camp. Surprising herself, perhaps, with the club selection. See how far she has to go through the Bushnell optic. Uh-oh. 3.1 the average score here on 13 today. It's only 5 birdies. Nobody who has gone long has been able to connect on it. The middle ridge is exactly where you want to be. And Jung-min once again has found the rough around the green.
소리 안 나게 해주세요.
She's been dynamite on the par 3s all weekend long. Akin to her approach game in general, as she throws an absolute dart. Blindfold her and spin her around 3 times and she'd probably still complete that birdie. It's one of the more impressive tee shots on the short holes that we've seen today. At 14 with Yun Seireen. Too much inside left. Departure from the putter. Still all by her lonesome in 4th, 3 back. Could be a very, very good shot in the grand scheme of the day. Kim Jae-hee, 2 under through 15. 2 under on 15, excuse me. Finish that out, which she would expect to. She goes into the top 5. Yoo Hyun-jo on top of the hole. She knows where Uni-na is, and she knows that can turn up the wick. Put the flame just under her feet. It's an excellent, excellent birdie. She finds her first in a 5-hole span and her first of the back 9. Now on 17. So Eugene with a hop and a roll. Up the hill into a very good spot here. Jung-min from off the green to another yardage that will test her nerves with that club. For Unina, I don't think she will feel the need to overcomplicate this. It's 12.8 meters underneath the target. And a deceptive amount of right to left break here as well. Took no chances leaving it short. She'll have that left for her par. In the grand scheme of things, the tournament doesn't hinge on this putt, but her classification in the groups tomorrow just took a blow which could lead to a slide down. Struggling to find the green, struggling to make it easy with putter, which is always a recipe for trouble. Yu-Hyun Jo starts going about as far right as you possibly can in the fairway.
해야겠습니다.
Grazes over the inside, looks back to her caddy in disbelief. I understand why she'd feel a little hard done by today. She looks at her fellow competitors above her and sees scores like -4, -7, -3. She's not been able to share in any of that joy.
아예 안 볼 수는 없고 조금만 끝에 안 먹는 걸 생각하고 치면 돼. 끝에 안 먹는 거 그 생각하고.
She's been able to deliver in the big moments. In the first dozen greens. Unina to avoid going a bogey, birdie, bogey. She overhits it. She knew exactly what the ball was going to do break-wise, but misjudged the speed, and the pendulum swings back in the unfortunate direction. It's starting to give us a few flashbacks to Thursday, where she was very inconsistent on the back nine. Let's go to 16, the final par 3 of the round for Kim Jae-hee. Look at that. Takes a divot and stops in an absolutely dynamite position. Sung Eugene with another chance to tie the course record. It's a tricky one uphill and should take off to the right just about now. It is the break that is the Achilles heel. Particularly disappointing with Uni now going down again. Could have moved into a tie for the lead with that putt, though. Probably feeling like it can't be too greedy, despite feeling a sensation of a letdown with the last 2 holes.
멈춰주세요.
Birdie here yesterday.
소리 좀 안 나게 해주세요.
If it was the insect or a sound from the side of the green, but you can tell that the mental balance is in a bit of a precarious spot. Trying to control absolutely every aspect. Can completely understand why. With savvy, she sails it over the bunker and into the fairway. A good second shot on the par 5. Young, and now Uni Na looking to bounce back yet again. Driver's often the club that can lead her to do that when she's not trying to do too much. Good shot is right, as the gallery calls it out. Mean also can absolutely rip it. Just past Uni Na, though that might have rolled a bit too far towards the tall grass. Advancing further along into this back nine and into the third hour, 3:05 p.m. local time. This moving day Saturday. Event 22 of the year, which means we are in the final third of the calendar. 2024 season that will conclude with the WeMix Championship. Pak Young, the leader of that race at the moment. Pak Jiyoung, Yunina, EA1, and Hung Yumin round out the top five. Pei So-hyun, No Seung-gi, Lee Jae-young, 6, 7, and 8. Kim Ji-yeon. Chance to get back to even. Birdie putt at 16. It's a long time coming. Birdied the third hole, and now birdies the third to last hole. Takes her closer to the top 10. Same score as Kim Ae-rin, Kim Yo-ju, and No Seung-gi. Pei So-hyun on the approach at 14 will find the fringe, the back left of the green. Had some success here yesterday with her only birdie of the back nine. Two rounds and 2 pars for Yunina. She glances over the hill and to the still flag, 86 meters in front of her. Softly lands it just above the pin. Some tidy work. Yunina with 2 wins in her career and the one in 2024. About a month ago now, the 11th Jeju Samdasu Masters. Is becoming a low-scoring hole. That is absolutely not an easy pin placement to look at. 52 degrees for Hong Jung-min. She's on the green this time in regulation, but only just. A very well-deserved birdie to make it back-to-back in 4 for the round. Kim Chae-hee up to within 2. Lee Jae-young, haven't seen her yet this afternoon, which generally leads us to believe that we're in store for something special. Saving one of her best moments for near the end. She's 3 under and likely to go to 5 under, where we currently find Pae So-hyun and Hong Jung-min. It's a 2-way tie at the top with 1 hole separating Nam Yoo-hyun-jo and Yoonhee Na. Stick with us, we'll have more. Wager a guess that we have at least an hour left in store on a sunny Saturday in Incheon.
좀 더, 좀 더, 좀 더. 아유.
나이스! 파이팅!
We're back to work, and it's another hole closer to that pivotal 54, where we'll have a clear picture of the chase tomorrow. We're expecting Peso Yan to be in it, but just how far back, that's the question. And Serene's been teetering on the verge of the podium. Obviously, a putt from the other side of the green is not going to be super conducive to birdies. Hong Jung-min. Order. And a roar. A well-deserved roar. It's been all the way since the 4th hole since she was up with birdies. And now Yu Hyun-jo also gonna be drawing a circle. Back to back now, kicking in at just the right time, and of course trying to stay level-headed but also enjoying the moment. Breakout performance that we are witnessing. Uni Na, meanwhile, is floundering a bit. Let's see if Lee Jae-young can keep this birdie bash alive and well. 5 under she goes with a round of 69, excuse me, 3 under. Now it must make par.
나이스!
Descends out of the lead for the first time in some time. And Hyun Serene, that will be a massively deflating moment. Pressure of the major is always around. Just getting to her a little bit here on 15, just as it had done on 9. Yeoju. That's more what you'd expect of a champion in this event in the past. Much better back nine, her 3rd birdie. Might be a bit too little too late, but we can enjoy the dream nevertheless. Jamin with a blast at the par 5. Important run in here, to say the least. Just wants a reason to feel that confidence again. That is an unfortunate carom, to put it mildly. Down into the bunker, Yunina was well left. She'll have to find the mental reset button and push it before playing that second shot. Decent start on 16 for our new leader. We haven't seen a ton of Pak Young in the last hour or so, and the letter E beside her name tells us why. She is having a round to forget, on pace for a 76. Doesn't seem to really click for her today. Gasp. Pretty clear why. Missing well right off the tee at the par 3. Uninod 15 out of the sand. Just down in the little valley in the fairway. Recovering from a miss, and as we glance beside the solar farm to our left, you can see that it is a deceptively narrow end to the fairway. Of course, with the water on the other side and the forthcoming par 3 on the other side. Peso again, 291. Just a simple iron to lay up circle to end the round. Different postal code. Suji climbs up. Second on the par 5 for Hong Jung-min. Fairway to fairway, mission accomplished. Detour to the sand and recovery up onto the green. Unina decided that's not the right club. .156. Bit of an uphill as well. She's going to be satisfied, I think, with the last minute audible. Starting left and straightening out, so just a little bit too late. Glancing back, and you can understand why she might be seeing that one in her memory on repeat. Golden opportunity. Tremendous try. I don't think she would have expected to have been that close. Fantastic finish. 67 after that incredibly disappointing opening round of 75. She was kind of nowhere, Kim Soo-ji. Charging all the way up into the top 5, and you absolutely will not count her out. Jung-min. About equidistant to Yunina's approach shot, which means it's a good one. Oh, Park Young, she'll be disappointed that it's happened and maybe a bit relieved that it's getting close to an end. It's 10 off the pace when it was so very much in the hunt up until the final couple of holes yesterday. That is quite the kick to the left, isn't it? Let's see, 1,400 kilograms on the digital sign here at 17. The amount of donations from the tee shots into the Rise ETF zone. $127 for Peso Hyun. And look at that. Zoomed out because we lost it in the sky, but have to zoom in all the way to the flag. That's the shot she's been waiting for. She rocks back on her heels. Close, but not close enough. Kim Ji-yeon. Absolutely beelined to the birdie zone. Excellent up from that spot in the fairway, courtesy of Hong Jin-young 2, was 3 under today. Not quite a slam dunk, but a good opportunity for Yunina nevertheless. She knew where the ball was going to go, just didn't have the speed to get all the way there.
저를 봤을 때 이렇게 늦진 않아서 많이 다니는
Zooming into the heart of the 15th green. Longest hole of the weekend. And Hong Jung-min, excuse me, will need 5 at the very least. It's quite likely at the maximum as well. Joe safe for another hole, but she's using up a lot of her luck before the final round on Sunday. Had one yesterday that smashed the cart path too and ended up 30 or 40 yards longer than normal. Soyeon, the long-awaited birdie at last. Back to even. 3 bogeys and 3 birdies now on the round, and 3 holes to go.
오른쪽 꼬비고 때리니까 다들 왼쪽 꼬비로 튀고
Rare-sighted eagle. Sung Eugene, this will be one miraculous way to break the course record. And to reach into, thanks in large part to the reduction of 45 meters of this 18th hole, trying to set up some birdies and quickly whittle down the field if a playoff is required. She still has a chance to go on and tie it. She can tap in from there. She has firmly established herself as a regular challenger on the LPGA Tour of Korea. It's getting every last little detail of the game to come together at the same time. This is as close as Yunina has ever been. 3rd in the points, 344 this season, and 5th on the money list.
앞에 잠시만 멈춰주세요.
See if this can kickstart a little run for Bae So-hyun. Birdie here on Thursday, and yeah, I'd say she's got her swagger back. Such an unbelievable amount of skill and confidence to go directly into the corner, going one lies behind you. So she trails by 4. And in a couple more on the way in. You never know what tomorrow might bring. Sung Yun-jin, she's come so close to this last course-tying birdie. And she gets it with her last swing of the afternoon. It is she and Kime Reem sharing that record, a 64, 8 under. First time we've seen that here at the Blackstone since 2017. Playing those two. A very, very impressive approach as well. The stars for 3 days in a row now have aligned. Back to the par 3, 7-iron for Hong Jung-min. Clears the front of the green, but has some work to do yet. .144. Just a step or two inside of the rough. The penultimate hole. And she thought she was gonna land and stay, but the dejecting view of the ball slipping back down to the front. Last but certainly not least, Uni Na splits the difference between her group mates. It's a 27-hole facility carved out of the forest of the west side of Icheon. Supporters have been treated to some magnificent shots, some magnificent performances today. Jung Young with a final birdie and a round of 68, if my quick math adds up. She joins Kim Soo-ji in that tie for 5th position. It's becoming a common score. Kim Soo-ji, Hong Jin-young 2, Pae So-hyun, and Hong Jung-min all at 6 under. Kim Chae-hee's 4th at 7 under. Sung Yoo-jin and Uni Na tied for the runner-up position right now, with both chasing the star rookie Yoo Hyun-jo, who on the last hole is sitting in a very comfortable position at the top of the leaderboard of this KB Financial Group Championship. back to the action in the final trinity of holes. Hong Jung-min unfortunately has gone ice cold on moving day. After back-to-back rounds of 69 to begin the tournament. 2 holes to go. She is tracking a 70. Excuse me, she's tracking a 72. And Sareen up the hill. Bit of a fade back towards the end. Half a putter's length wide. Yuni now finding herself trailing. Hasn't done much parring lately. Instead, it's been bogeys and birdies. Back to 10 under she goes. Give her 6 pickups on the day so far through 16 holes. So we'll see how long that lead is shared. This is Yoo Hyun Jo on 17. A little right to left break. Downhill putt. And maybe a little more than a touch of break. This is to the inside. And it is par. Back-to-back now for Bae So-hyun after a 4-hole departure from the birdies. She's up to 7 under, tied for 4th. And Kim Yo-ju 1 under for the day. The chance for a 70. And a bit too generous, or perhaps a bit too cautious with the break. Number 17 taps in to finish off her 54th hole of the event. 68, 73, 71 thus far in the tournament, just outside of the top 10. Rolling through the leaderboard. A couple of those scores really stand off the page. Of course, at the tops, the 64 and 67 from Sung Yoo-jin and Kim Soo-ji, respectively. 67 from Jung So-gi, who finishes up 34 positions from where she was just making the cut to knocking on the door of the top 10. 69 has also been a popular finish. And for EA1, just like Park Young-young, not quite as drastic, but certainly not the round of the tournament that she'll look back on with fond memories. 2 under and 1 under in the opening rounds, and then 1 over par today. Finishes tied for 16th, 8 off the pace. Joe reaching the end and just going to have enough power on the drive to roll out of the rough and back into the fairway. Further down on this 18th hole, this was a few moments ago, 188. Kyunchae grabs the hybrid and kicks up onto the green. A nice on in 2. She'll have 2 attempts at a birdie.
내 방향인데 똥 넘어가야 돼.
Certainly an unfortunate outcome on the drive, as Yunina is probably wishing she was in the sand instead of that tall grass.
플레이하겠습니다. 멈춰주세요.
빨리 공원 가봐야지. 지금
That's where Yunina wanted to be. Sung Jung-min goes straight as an arrow down past the Rise ETF zone.
띵하면 넷볼 나가요.
이쁘다.
Nice cut across the fairway. She has just been operating at the best we've ever seen from her. Still 19 holes to go, though. The supporters trying to be encouraging, but once they realize where that drive ended up, they'll understand that it might have sounded good, but unfortunately was a bit too much left to right.
네, 알겠습니다. 미리 눌러주세요.
That time the praise is well warranted. It is an excellent shot right down the middle of the fairway. And this is why we say Uninat would probably prefer to be in the sand. Looks like this particular set of rough has not been tended to in the preceding couple of weeks leading up to this tournament.
카메라 소리 안 나게 해주세요.
Uninat will have her heels in the sand and will have to blast that through the fescue. And that's unfortunate. He was trying to hit it perfectly on the equator, but she tops it, hits the ridge of the bunker, and there goes her chance at a birdie here. Much better lie, obviously. Rong Jungmin, she takes a divot when she lands and fortunately will stay there, though she's teetering on the slope. She wanted to make sure that that was glued to the grass and is relieved to see that it is. Now the third for Uninat. As we well know at this point, the pin basically level with the back of the bunker on the left. She was going to leave no doubt that that was going to be at the back of the green, but now she'll be putting for par, knowing that bogey is probably doable. Down to the front would be unthinkable. Now an 8-iron for Bae So-hyun. 121 should be very attackable from that distance, but she left nothing to chance either in terms of the two very different elevations of the green. We've drawn to the fringe all the way in behind. First of the eagle putts on 18, Kim Chae-hee can vault herself to just one off the pace. She wasn't going to miss short, was she? A little overzealous, and now even birdie is not a certainty. She's seeming to be laughing off. The unfortunate outcome. Kim Ji-hyun for birdie. She was anticipating some significant right to left break. There was some, but probably half of what she had seen in her mind. It's the day with the par. Even 72. Tied for 13th at 2 under. Che Gabin, by my recollection, is the only eagle today on 18, despite the tournament committee deciding to tempt the players with the shorter yardage scenario. Yu Hyun-jo was not all that tempted to try and reach. The playful pout to say, how come I'm not on there with the rest of them? And there is the birdie. Much to the delight of the supporters who witness a bogey for a round of 67 for Kim Jae-hee. He's all the way up to 4th. We go all the way back to the corner of this 17th green. Kim Jae-hee, by the way, that is now 24 holes without dropping any strokes, as she has been methodically working her way towards the top.
그냥 계속 후기죠.
계속 후기야.
약간 내려가고. 수가 조금 있네요. 여기까지는 좀 맞나요?
괜찮을 것 같아.
조금만 내려가는 걸로 보는 거죠?
There's no one hot on their heels. Bae So-hyun takes a few extra moments to plot out a break point. Here she goes. Maybe those extra seconds could lead to excellence. One more revolution or two, and she's there for birdie. It's a excellent putt that when you look at the scorecard, you wouldn't know it. Part of this 53rd hole of the tournament.
나는 그래도 것 같아.
Young also with the par. Hers comes on 18 though. 62 this effort to stay at 4 under. And just outside of the top 10, the defending champion. Currently 6 back though. Yunina and Yu Hyun-jo could change that in these last 20 minutes or so. But for Yunina, it's not just birdies she's got to consider, it's limiting these mistakes. You can almost hear a pin drop. The gallery is reflecting the frustration back at her. With the hybrid, she was given the green light to go on an attack. She's going to set up an eagle, but as she taps down the putter, Hyun-Sae, she'll know she will stomp in the sand before she can think about improving upon the score. And Hong Jung-min just a little bit under hit. She is on pace for round of 72 as well. We go to 18 with Yoo Hyun-jo slipping up down the stretch. Yoo Hyun-jo can try and pad this lead. Didn't want to get too greedy. Plays the par 5 a bit more normally, and she gets on in 3 into a good spot for a birdie. It's a bogey she can live with. But a double would drastically change the calculus. She minimizes the damage and will think short par 5 is going to be a big opportunity for her. The latest with Park Yeon-kyung, who is going to get one shot closer to even par. She's tracking a 76 unless she can capitalize there. She's dropped her down 20 positions to even.
시작하겠습니다.
And Hyun-Sae, excuse me, third shot from the sand. Nicely judged, very well struck. Is what separates her and her birdie. Final group just arriving on the 18th tee, past where they drew their drivers in the first 2 rounds, and the stunning clubhouse down on the horizon.
카메라 소리 안 나게 해주세요. 소리 안 나게 해주세요.
Looks like and sounds like a strong start to the 18th. Ricochets down the fairway, even out of frame. Pan left, there it is. Bae So-yeon has shown she's more than willing on multiple occasions to try to play a little bit longer.
카메라 소리 안 나게 해주세요. 감사합니다.
Hong Jung-mi next up. She and Yoonina should thrive here, just so long as they can stay in the fairway. Look how high that ball was launched up in the air as the drive goes directly to the cart path. Good thing that everyone was able to get out of the way okay. Back in Young, well, it's befitting for the day. Can feel the frustration oozing on the 18th green. It's not a feeling that Yoonina would like to experience. She'd like to be on the opposite end of that spectrum. Maybe even an eagle. But let's not put the cart before the horse. One shot at a time, and it's all about this for Yoonina to set it up. She has birdied here each and every round thus far in the event. Moment of truth. That's no good. Where will it fall? And the supporters point. And they point to the forest where Park Young-kyung had gone yesterday. So before everyone heads down, Yoonina is looking for confirmation of whether or not she'll need to take a provisional. And she is being summoned back up to the teeing ground, saying better safe than sorry. Was the dream start to this final round. She went out with a 32, and she's got 3 bogeys, 11, 13, and 17, and she's potentially staring down a penalty here. She's hoping that one of the tournament organizers in yellow can get a walkied up confirmation. Do I need to hit another? The much more tempered reaction from the crowd. She goes smooth and steady, and she'll have a lot of help, I imagine, trying to locate that first one. The second drive is in the fairway in case that's the one she needs to play. You can certainly get a bit too cutesy if you try to play the cut. It's great news for Yoo Hyun-jo, especially if she can muster up the strength for one more birdie today. Nope, it's short. She will replicate what she had done in the opener. Birdie's at 2, 8, 14, and 15 today. 4 under. She is the leader. She will almost certainly be the leader heading into tomorrow's final round. Just 19 years of age in her first professional season. She's set the bar very, very high for herself heading into the final round. Also just off. And she tried to reach in two, ended up in the sand. The recovery took her past the pin, and then 2 putts from there. Shots 71 and 72. It's an even par third round. 69, 70, and 72 for a 211 aggregate score after 54 holes. Tomorrow's a new day. That's what Park Young has to lean on. It was 4 over to fall to tied for 26th. We'll have to bring her A game tomorrow to try to move back to the top 10.
저희 카트 조금만 뒤로 좀 움직일 거예요. 카트 잠시만요.
Basically, I'm told that her help in the search was not required. Yunina is about to get the update, and she's hoping it's
소리가 이쪽에서 났어요?
an update that the ball has been found. It's one thing for it to be found, it's another for it to be playable. You ask yourself the question, at what point are you doing more damage if you get a bit too greedy? Do you consider just cutting your losses and taking that stroke penalty, taking that provisional, and minimizing the chance to make a bad situation worse? The supporters in the bleachers just got an update as our camera shot shows Yunina is in a bit of a pickle. So they're going to wait for the rules official to come by and just make sure everything's done by the book. Now the other thing here is
뭐예요? 이름?
until she can go in and try and see the ball and try not to step on the grass and make it move, and of course all the other important technicalities, she's not even 100% certain that's hers. I imagine there is a fair few white spheres in those trees.
우리가 마콘백 가야 되나요? 조리원님 계시니까.
The tour official getting up to speed as well, that the members of the gallery had pointed her in the right direction. Obviously coming through a significant number of trees and branches based on that angle to finally stop, and that's why she's wondering, is that really mine?
결이 좀 해서 불러 올라갈 것 같거든? 저기 좀
Well, that's getting sorted out. The entrance to the forest. Bae So-hyun and Jung-min can go on and play their seconds. That is a 5-wood being grasped. She is going to try and go for it in 2. Eagle would be dream stuff for Bae So-hyun. Move her within 1. And that is almost a perfectly executed second shot from the fairway. Two shots, or 2 putts, excuse me, for the birdie. See her into her share of second with Sung Eugene, and
나뭇가지가 꺾 일부러 그러니까 확인하기 위해서 조금 움직일 수는 있는데 꺾지만은 않으시면 돼요. 그러니까 계산만
behind
되지
Kim Jae-hee when all this is said and done, you
않아요.
can see our camera operator has found a ball. We believe it's her ball.
채로 이렇게 하는 것도 안 되니까.
Jung-min in the rough, but nowhere near as precarious. 169. And she's not able to really go on an attack because the grass was so tall. Just off the end of that fairway into the rough, separating it from the green.
어차피 저기서 치는 거는 티셔츠 치고 가도 상관없긴 하잖아. 그래서 저는 티샷을 하고 오는 게 낫지 않을까?
오케이.
그러면 원위치로 가실 거예요? 네. 아, 그리고 저거는 그냥 내주고 혹시 또 근데 저거 빼기가 힘들 것 같아요. 아, 네. 가시가 너무 많아서. 아, 네.
아니 내가 빼줄까?
선수 볼이라는 건 맞다는 거죠? 그런 거 같아요. 네네. 핑크색이 나 있는 네네.
She leaves the club, so she's trying to get closer to make sure that that is hers.
어차피 여기서 언블레이블 옵션 할 거면
Of course, she doesn't want to disturb it, and she can't really get to it either to place a tee.
그러니까 어차피 지금 포기하시는 거죠. 근데 선수 볼 확인을 할 거죠.
Obviously, it goes without saying, this is not a Sunday round with your buddies. This is a major championship. It's one of the most important events on the calendar, so absolutely everything needs to be done to 100% to the letter. She's gotten permission to go look at the ball.
공식 볼 맞아요? 네. 그리고 원위치로 가실 거예요?
Yep, that's mine.
그러면은 제가 커팅 정할게요. 혹시 잠깐만 이내 네, 이내 커팅 예, 저쪽으로.
네.
Camera has to make weight, so the penalty has been acknowledged and accepted.
파트 좀 빼주세요.
But I will admit, when I'm out of answers, like I am in this situation, she's gotten in the cart. She had played a provisional, and it makes you think maybe she's heading back up to the top. She is indeed. Reversing up the cart path. This 18th hole has a few more surprises in store for us before day's end. Now about half a kilometer away, Pei So-hyun is going to have to wait an extra 10 minutes, you'd wager to guess. And she'll get a lift, Yunina, once the next shot is taken. You wonder as well if Hong Jung-min and Pei So-hyun are just told to go on and finish it up themselves. Sure, both players will get an explanation shortly, but also due to the fact that they've not seen or heard the next shot be taken, they've figured it out. And as our camera operators are split, don't have a perfect view of the live for Hong Jung-min, but as you see the ball flash across while she was hidden from view, you know that that is a tricky spot. 3 strokes on the par 5, she's still short of the green. And now everyone just trying to make sure they're clear of Yunina.
떨어지는 데가 이게 요 바로 벙커 겹쳐. 그거보다 살짝 우측이야. V자 그 꺾인 데가. 파인 대로 글로 가자.
So because the ball was lost, you can't take a provisional. You have to take your drive knowing you have the penalty. So this is the 3rd shot officially for Yunina after much delay. And that will be a sight for sore eyes for her as she finds the fairway. It's much more like it. So we'll have to get an official yardage. We know she's a long hitter like Pei So-hyun. We know she can almost certainly reach the green from there. It's does she even dare? Risk compounding the situation here. The other angle of that argument is, does she feel like she has a choice but to go for it, and to knowing that the penalty was assessed. Somebody's phone ringing off. Sorry, honey, I'm at the golf. I'm gonna have to call you back a little bit later. Fourth for Hong Jung-min at 16 meters out. She's got the high lobbed wedge. Just a pitch to climb. Call that a hair over 2 meters and what will be her putt for par. She started the day as a co-leader after opening the tournament 69-69. That would be her 72nd shot. Which would have her down 5 spots, tied for 6th with Hong Jin Young 2 and Kim Soo Ji. Basically decides I better wait. Unionized travel expedited by the cart. She has the 5-wood in hand, so she is saying it's worth the risk. I'm watching keenly with interest. Not a tournament-defining shot, but a crucial one. Now, whatever this ends up as will be what stands between she and par. All the way to sit up on the fringe. She can chip or putt down, and now Pei So-hyun can attempt her eagle. Going well into bonus time here today. As soon as Group 23 has concluded, revisit the third round highlights and set the stage for tomorrow's championship deciding round. Through no fault of her own, she's had Pei So-hyun about 15 minutes to think of this putt.
네, 하겠습니다.
She couldn't catch Yoo Hyun Jo with this putt, but my goodness, could she put the pressure on. 8.9 meters downhill. She left the last one from about this range short. Down then up, we should say. Here it goes. Give her just the second eagle of the day at 18. It is a hair short. She'll knock that in and should be once again featuring in the featured group tomorrow. Really nice running for Pei So-hyun. One better than she had shot yesterday. She's able to find 4 birdies in the back 9, 5 overall. Be frustrated with 4, 6, and 9. 3 par 4s where she dropped strokes. Otherwise, she would be in the outright lead. some kind of marathon playoff tomorrow. 24 hours from now, it will be festive and celebratory environment on this 18th green. Yunina, of course, would love to stake a claim to a first career major title. Despite everything that's gone on in the last little while here, she still could escape this 18th with the par. If she misses, she's dropping to 2 back of the lead. Gives it a valiant try. She'll take a short tap in over a dicey downhill. But there is no doubt that this was a far more volatile back 9 than she could have possibly imagined after an almost perfect start. Jungmin, her turn for a putt for par. And the crowd is aghast, as is she. Birdie, what should likely be 2 bogeys on 18. A 73 is the final score for Hong Jungmin, who stays in the top 10, but is 5 shots off the pace. Yunina, meanwhile, her 4th bogey of the back 9. A 38 on the way in after a 32 on the way out. She's tied for 3rd and 2 back after a rather dramatic conclusion to her 54th hole. So after 3 hours, 40 minutes and change, we know the pecking order heading into tomorrow. And we'll get you caught up on some of the shots and some of the big moments that we would have missed before our side of the broadcast joined the fray. Yu Hyun Jo, after a 70 in yesterday's setup round, to cut the field down from 108 to 72. We had a very clear set of leaders. Yunina was almost immediately becoming one of those true contenders. In the first 6 holes, she found 3 birdies. She found those 3 in a 4-hole span and was starting to feel comfortable and lonesome at the top. But Yu Hyun Jo would ensure that, well, she wouldn't be by herself for very long. It was about a 6-meter putt in the final few holes on the north course. This was about the time that we began. Excellent setup on number 9 and would deliver on it. Just showed you that scorecard. It was a 32. It looked good. I'm sure it felt even better. 10 under at the turn with the round in her hands. But while some players thrived on the back 9, Yunina had some difficulties. Difficulties were absolutely not in the vocabulary of Sung Eugene on the day, who had a couple of putts that maybe she'll think, okay, that course record, the 3 million one could have been mine, but I mean, she's really splitting hairs to try and find things to not like about this day. So 72 in round 1, 71 yesterday, and she was probably just elated to be competing and in with the slightest of chances heading into the weekend, but saved one of her best 90 minutes of golf of the season for this afternoon. We'll see where she finishes. Well, we know where she finishes, but we'll show you how she got there. This, meanwhile, is when things got particularly interesting for Yoo Hyun-jo. Back-to-back birdies, 14 and 15, 10 under at that point, and 10 under is where she would remain. We just were able to witness what had gone wrong for Yoonina, and we see what it does to her score and to her positioning heading into tomorrow. It'll be Yoo Hyun-jo, Sung Yoo-jin, and her tied course record of 64, and Pae So-hyun in the final group tomorrow afternoon. Kim Chae-hee, Yoonina, and Kim Soo-ji, who had an excellent day of 67, must be said as well. And the second to last, Hong Jin-young 2, Hong Jung-min, and Hyun Se-rin all around that 5 under marker. And Kim Yo-ju, who picked it up towards the end of her third round to get herself hovering around the top 10 once again. Ho Da-bin with a 69, vaulting her up under par with So-jin as some company. And Cho-hae Reem at a 68 as well. Really good day to bring herself back up to even. Unfortunately, on the other end of that spectrum is Park Young-kyung, who shoots a 76 to fall into a tie for 26th position. Jae Min-kyung, who just scraped into the action today with a good qualifier at the end of the round yesterday. She also posts a 69 to be at +1. Well, we knew it was going to be an exciting day. We knew it was going to be an eventful day, but certainly we had an unexpected twist at the end from Yoonina, who will be looking to bounce back and play the front 9 like she had done this morning again tomorrow when the KB Financial Group Star Championship title is officially on the line. We'll see you right back here in Icheon in less than 24 hours' time. Have a great rest of your Saturday, and we look forward to having you back tomorrow. For our entire SBS Golf crew, I've been Adam Jenkins saying so long from the Blackstone.